Hello everyone, and welcome to the launch of MSP Manager. MSP Manager is a brand new service management platform to help you run your business, and we really think it's going to be the easiest way for you to manage all aspects of your IT service business. I'm your host today, Ali Mahmood, Senior Product Marketing Manager here at SolarWinds Enable, and I wanted to kick things off with giving some thoughts on the managed services market. What is it about MSP Manager that we decided to launch this functionality and this platform to bring it to you, the managed service provider? One thing that we've noticed, over the past 15, 16 years in the managed services industry is that the only real constant is change. SMB requirements change. 10 years ago, SMBs were not looking for AV backup and all comprehensive support that you're providing them today. So they've evolved, and they're going to continue to evolve. We see a lot of shifting with the cloud, and SMBs going direct for some services and then needing support for other services. So I think we can guarantee that there's going to be a lot of change in the SMB market over the next few years. Definitely when it comes to technology is constantly evolving. Every 18 months technology doubles, and that's just amazing in today's day and age when we already have so much power in our smartphones, our tablets, our laptops, and all the devices we use on a day-to-day basis. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years and how some of the Internet of Things and other technologies are going to come into the managed services market. And definitely the competition changes. I think even just a few years ago, it was MSPs just competing with other MSPs, an IT business against an IT business. Now what we're starting to see is we have copiers and we have VoIP providers, we have large distributors all trying to come into the managed services market. They see the high potential for revenue, but it's kind of muddying the waters on what is a managed service provider. So definitely think in this changing landscape, it's very difficult to grow your business like it was maybe even 5 years ago. The common challenges that we hear from a lot of MSPs is that growth and profitability are the top two challenges. So how can I acquire more customers? How can I win business over the other guy? How can I build revenue? So how can I upsell customers? And then profitability, how can I streamline everything that I'm working on to go to market with the most efficient solutions that I have and train my technicians to squeeze those extra couple hours of billable revenue and get the job done just a little bit quicker. Lots of business challenges facing MSPs today. I think for the last long while, SolarWinds Enable has been really focused on solving that problem of how you deliver service. So how do you monitor devices? How do I automate some of the maintenance and procedures that previously I was doing manually? How can I report on everything and send all that information back to my customers? And what about all the other services I provide? Backup, patching, antivirus, mobile management. There's just so many different services that a managed service provider delivers to customers. We want to give you that all-in-one platform to deliver that service better, and that's definitely End Central. Today what we're talking about is we want to change how you manage your business. So if we can give you tools that are as good as End Central for delivering service, but instead give them to you to manage your business, we think you're going to be able to meet a lot of those business challenges head on. Some of the challenges we heard from a lot of business owners and IT service providers is it's very difficult to manage your time, your team, and the resources that you have and run your business efficiently. And the tools that you have today really aren't coming together to give you insight into your business. So even if you do have some tools to manage your time or your team, none of these tools are giving you that business insight that you need to answer the questions about your business and run a profitable, revenue-rich business. The complaints that we hear about the software that exists on the market today is that neither a help desk, which is just pure ticketing, solves my problems. It doesn't understand that I have technicians I need to manage. It doesn't understand that I actually have to bill my customers at the end of the month. And then there's traditional, professional services automation software, which are just these big, bloated, difficult to use platforms that really don't meet the needs of the average managed services business. So there's really nothing in the middle that was easy to use like a help desk software, but actually met all of your business requirements. That is until today. So this is where service management comes in. An MSP Manager comes right in the middle between these two software worlds, and it takes the best of help desk, it takes the best of PSA, and it really just gives you everything you need in an easy to use platform. So MSP Manager, we think, is a giant step forward for MSPs to manage their business. Now, it's worth saying that, End Central, our core business for the last many, many years, is integrated with a lot of the top PSA solutions that are out there. So we understand that. We understand that a lot of MSPs, they're heavily invested into some of the software tools that they're using today. We are committed to supporting those software platforms. Lots of Enable partners are using PSA solutions, and we don't want to force anybody to move away from what they're doing and any procedures they have in place. We're talking about MSP Manager for those of you that you're not heavily invested in your PSA platform. You want something that's easier to use. You want more business insight, and you want a platform that all of your technicians will actually use. And that's what MSP Manager is. So with that, we want to take a dive into the 3 areas of MSP Manager. And those 3 areas, when we talk about service management and MSP Manager as a platform, it really comes down to 3 things. How do you support your customers? So how can I deliver faster support? How can I organize my support efforts? How can I provide easy access to all of the information on my platform about my customer support needs? How can I get organized? So we have so much information about all the customers we manage. You have so much information about the technicians you manage and what they're working on. So you need a platform that's going to let you schedule their time, see their time on a calendar view so you can actually get insight to what people are working on. And then on top of that, you need to manage all your customer phone numbers, their locations, their assets and their devices, the procedures that you use at each different customer site to onboard new users and really support those customers. And the final area is we want to make it easier to manage your business. So MSP Manager is going to give you lots of insight into the core areas of your business, some great dashboards that let you see what's going on, and I can ask simple questions about my business like which technician is bringing in the most revenue? Are any of my technicians overworked, and do I need to shift some of that load to somebody else? Which customers are bringing in the revenue, and which months of the year are their highest billable hours? At the end of the month, of course, I'm going to need to create invoices, and we've made that beautifully simple. So with MSP Manager, when it comes to the end of the month or middle of the month, whenever you do your billing, you're going to be able to take all of that support time, all of those tickets and expenses, and create beautiful professional invoices in just minutes. So all 3 of these areas we think are critical to managing your business. So we want to take a dive into each of those areas, and definitely starting with support. MSP Manager knows both, so it's got the ease of use of a help desk platform, but with every single ticket I can mark it down as billable, I can track expenses with it, I have all that information I need to turn it into an end of month invoice. And something that you're going to see, we'll have a demo at the end of this webinar, is how easy it is to manage tickets in MSP Manager. So the reason why a lot of MSPs are saying, my techs don't want to log tickets is because it takes too long. There are PSA solutions out there that have 50 to 70 or more fields that you have to fill out for every single ticket that you enter. And when it comes to MSP Manager, we've tried to keep it as simple as possible. Nobody likes to do paperwork, and technicians, consultants, business owners, this is the boring stuff, this is the dry stuff. No one really likes to go through this. So we've tried to streamline it as much as possible. What are the critical elements that we can't live without? We need to know who the customer is. We need to know how to bill them. Is it tied to a project? Do I need to wrap those service items into a specific project we're working on? And what am I working on? Is this PC support? Is it an email problem? Is it something bigger? And right there in the ticket, I can actually start a timer. So rather than me marking down the time or just trying to remember I started at about 11 o'clock, we have an actual timer in there. And that's not necessarily just for the end customer so that you can bill them accurately. It's for you so your technicians can't be fudging their numbers. The timer says when they started, it says when they stopped, it tells you how many tickets they've done throughout the day. And when you start to get that kind of information feeding back to you, you have a much better idea of what's going on in your help desk or when your customers are being supported on site. The next area that a lot of MSPs struggle with is when a customer calls you, something's broken and they need help with it. That's no problem. You log a ticket for it. But what happens when they keep calling you back to get an update, or they keep emailing you tied to that ticket, and it just starts filling up the queue in your inbox? It's just a lot of noise. It's a lot of distraction. So what you want to give your customers is an app that they can use on their smartphone, their tablet, or they can log into a portal online through a web browser, and they can actually see the status of everything you're working on for them. So if they can get in there, if they can get an update, if that portal's branded with all of your information, it's got your support details, your logo, it's just giving them a great experience. So we really think that you can take support to the next level and give them an awesome experience inside of a customer portal that they might not be getting from their current MSP. It's a great selling tool. When it comes to supporting customers when you're on the go, I think pretty much every one of us lead busy lives. There are appointments that you have to go to in the middle of the day. You're out of office sometimes. You're on site supporting a customer. You have to have access to all those tickets and all that information no matter where you are in the city or in the world. And MSP Manager is actually a pure cloud-based solution. It's built on Microsoft Azure. It's the latest technology, and the performance is just blazing fast. So this is a cloud environment that scales horizontally and vertically, and you're always going to have speedy responsiveness no matter where you are. And one great thing is that we're releasing a native application for pretty much every smartphone platform that there is. So no matter what device you're using, you'll be able to go in there, get the app, you'll have access to all your customer information, be able to manage tickets, and what we hope at the end of the day is all of this easy access to information allows you to support your customers a little bit faster. There's one MSP Manager user that actually takes these tools into their initial sales meeting with a customer to help them pitch their services. You know, what they said is that a lot of MSPs will go in and they'll try to pitch a small business, and to the small business owner it all sounds pretty similar. You know, everyone's offering to keep my network up and running. Everyone's offering similarly priced packages. So what this one MSP did is they go in there with MSP Manager and they say, you know, here's the customer portal. This is where you're going to be logging in to give me support requests. You know, you're going to have access to all my information. And then, hey, look over here. Look at MSP Manager and the great tools that I have available to support you. So when you call me, I just create a quick ticket, takes me 2 seconds, and then immediately I'm supporting you. That's the kind of thing that really makes you stand out, and in particular this one managed service provider made him really stand out. So he continues to use this as a sales tool to stand out from all the competition when he goes into those sales presentations. So that was help desk and supporting your customers. The next area that MSP Manager helps you with your business is that it helps you organize pretty much everything. When we think about all the information that you have for a customer, it can be a mountain. And the problem I think that a lot of IT businesses face is that I have not only a lot of customers, I have a lot of employees. And all of my employees are tech-minded people, and these people want to use the latest and greatest tools themselves. So I have 5 techs over here who like to store things in Evernote. I got one guy over here who's using the latest and greatest cloud-based note-taking app. I have some guy who's old school. He's just using Notepad and Excel spreadsheets and stuff. And when I have all that information scattered across multiple technicians on different computers, different hardware, it's really hard for me to have access to all my customer information. You know, what happens when, you know, the number one tech for my number one customer calls in sick? Who else has access to all of his information on his computer? Who can even find that data on his machine? Maybe he's even written it down on paper because that's his preferred method, right? So when you have all of that information in the cloud, and I can get access to that information from anywhere, so I can do it from my laptop, at the office, on the go, I can do it from my smartphone, my tablet. We think that it's just going to be easier to support the customer. I'm going to have everything I need right there. And hopefully, if you make it easier for technicians to access information, they'll see the value of it and they'll start entering in all their notes and all their data in MSP Manager. So just going through a couple of these, you have password management, and a lot of MSPs that we talk to, they have their passwords stored everywhere. One technician has his passwords for his customers. Some people are just putting them in unencrypted spreadsheets, and that's definitely not where you want your customers' most critical information. When it comes to procedures, as you take the step to take your business to the next level, you want procedures and things that are repeatable, scalable, so that you know when you take on a new customer, they're going to get the same level of service that the last customer did, and that when things go wrong, people know where to go for information. Serial numbers or software keys or device information, it's all in there. You need to have access to all the technical details about your customer's infrastructure. What we've created, and there's more information there on the left that you can see, is we've tried to put as much relevant information as possible onto one customer dashboard. And the big benefit here is that when a customer calls me and there's an issue, I just go to that customer's page and I have everything I need to know about them. So I know their main phone number right there. I can just give that customer a quick call. I know all of their locations, if I needed to ride over there really quickly. I have all the main contacts, and then I have all the device information, and it's all there on one page. And again, I could access this from my laptop at the office and then remote in and support them, or I can pull it up on my tablet and just have that information in front of me on site, so I know the IP addresses of the servers and devices that I need to support. So this is just one of many things that MSP Manager does to make your life easier. We really think that consolidating all that information that today is probably in a bunch of different silos is going to make it faster for everybody to get in there and support customers. When it comes to password management, you can see that we have the password page up there, and we'll be getting a demo of all of this later, so don't worry about if you can't see all of the details. The password management has every password that I need about all of my customers' infrastructure. So I could go to a customer's page and click on passwords, or I could go to the central password repository and then see all passwords for all customers. And the great thing here is that, one, those passwords are encrypted and stored safely in the cloud. Two, any time that I access those passwords, so the communication between me and the cloud is fully encrypted. And then a third layer of protection is that we have a secret built into every single password. So let's say I have 10 customers. At each customer site, there's critical devices and non-critical devices. Anybody has access to the non-critical devices. So those passwords, I'm not going to encrypt those for my technicians. The critical devices, I am going to encrypt those. Then maybe I have one particular customer that's really, really sensitive, and I'm going to add a different set of secret codes for that customer's devices, so only myself or one other senior technician can access that information. So multiple layers of security, but I think at the end of the day, the key is that all of the passwords are in one location. So I don't have to send a spreadsheet around between each technician. I don't have to worry about people updating the list. Don't have to worry about people stealing the list when they leave the company. It's not exportable. These are just some great security measures and great ease of use to make it a little bit easier to support your customers. Another big area is when you have a team of multiple technicians, how do you organize everybody's time? And when it comes to timesheets, how can I see how many tickets people have worked on? It's a little bit boring sometimes to look through multiple different timesheets. A calendar view just showing one technician's entire week and all the tickets that they've worked on, or showing all of my technicians and all the tickets they've worked on, this is going to let me see any big gaps here. So just looking at this screen up here, we see that all Tuesday morning, there's 0 tickets for that. And then all Wednesday afternoon is pretty open too. So what was this technician doing in those periods that he didn't log a single billable hour Tuesday morning or Wednesday afternoon? I think that that's the insight that the average business owner is looking for. At SolarWinds Enable, we assume that you know how to run your business, you know your customers, you know the specialties of your industry and your field that you're supporting your customers in. But what's really tricky for you is you don't have easy access to this kind of information. So there's no tool that you can go to that just pulls up all your text time on a timesheet view like this. It's easy to use, and I can just spot some of those gaps in my business. So the last area, and probably my favorite area, is this is just for the business owner. So for the business owner who's looking to take the business to the next level, these are the dashboards, and this is the insight that you've been looking for to get in and understand your performance. So there's 3 areas that I wanted to address with this, and it's all about money. Because at the end of the day, running a managed services business, it's a business, and you want to know the performance of your business. You want to identify any problems in the business, anything that's slowing you down, any room that you have for optimization, any way that you can make more money or make money smarter. So starting on the left, we have a team dashboard view, so I can see which technicians are bringing in the hours and which are not. And what might happen is I might see that Drew at the top is a little bit overworked and some of the other guys are underworked. Or it might be that I put Brandon on a special project, so he's off doing something else and not racking up billable hours. But hey, I'm busy. I forgot that I told him to work on that, and then when I check on him a week later, I find out he hasn't done any billable hours. These are the insights that are going to let you ask the questions about your business. Are we on track? Is each technician pulling their weight? Are we being effective as a team? So just some great insights there. The next area is about your customers. So I think on a month-to-month basis, most business owners know, who their top 20% customers are. The top 20% of customers that are bringing in 50+% of the revenue. I don't think that's too difficult, but when you can see it on a dashboard and it's just visual in a graph, now I can see that, this is one of our top customers here, and I expected them to be slow in the summer months, but I'm really shocked to see that the fall has dropped off almost as bad as the summer months. And that is something that I need insight into. Did something happen at the company? Did they cut down on hours for a reason? Is this an isolated incident, or is this a reoccurring event? Do they have 2 quarters that I'm going to get really, really low hours out of them? Because I need to include that in my forecasting for next year. I need to know that next September, October, we're not getting much billable hours out of this customer, so I'm going to try to upsell them, or I'm going to try to upsell other customers to offset for that. And then finally, how do you get paid at the end of the month? And this is a really, really tricky area for a lot of business owners. I think most people, they're not using their QuickBooks Online, their Xero accounting softwares. They're not updating those on a regular basis throughout the month. So it's really hard for the average MSP or business owner to know how they're tracking on their month-to-month financials. So midway through the month, today, how do you figure out if you're on track? If you need to bring in $20,000 in revenue, how do you know if you're on track for that? The only way is if you can take all of your tickets, all of the time, the billable hours, all the expenses, all the service items like the desktop and the server recurring monthly maintenance packages. Maybe you even want to throw in your Office 365 licenses that you're reselling. You need to throw all of that information into one platform so that at the end of the month I can see where my money's at and if I'm on track or if I've already hit the goals and maybe I can switch gears and work on something else. So again, just talking about some of those service items that you deliver, the one thing I've learned about the IT industry and IT service businesses is that they're all different. I've talked to MSPs that focus exclusively, on their local area. Maybe they focus exclusively on healthcare. I've talked to MSPs that only deliver one type of service, so they just do help desk and reactive support. I've talked to MSPs that just do monthly reoccurring desktop and workstation management. Every MSP is different, and we understand that. And there are only a few different ways that we've seen that you're going to bill your customers. You're going to have an hourly rate, and whether that's daytime hours or after hours, you're going to have monthly retainers, or blocks of hours that people can draw down from. You're going to have devices that you manage, so that's just a fixed fee for a month. And the same thing, that those devices you manage, which is a fixed fee, that could be applied to something else like an Office 365 license. So I can just add a quantity times $7 a user, and maybe I have 50 users, just put that into the system. So MSP Manager can keep track of pretty much every service that you deliver. So at the end of the month, you can turn that into an invoice really, really easily. And MSP Manager maps directly with QuickBooks, QuickBooks Online, and Xero. And something that's great about that is just the ability to, with a few clicks, directly integrate with those systems. Okay, so when you go and export information into MSP Manager directly to QuickBooks or directly to your accounting software, the great thing about that is that, let's say in QuickBooks I have 10 different service items. I have those hourly rates, I have the fixed fee, I have the retainers, things like that. Whatever 10 items or so that I have in QuickBooks, you just recreate the same items in MSP Manager. So at the end of the month, it's a one-click push. It pushes everything over, all the time I've tracked, all the expenses I've tracked, all the software I've sold, pushes all of that directly into your accounting software and creates that professional invoice in minutes. So that, for a lot of MSPs, is going to change the way that you bill your customers and how you interact with them on a month-to-month basis. One MSP user that we talked to they were just having a nightmare at the end of every month. It was taking them 4 days to reconcile their billing, to collect all the data from all their technicians, to take that billable hours from every technician, translate it into which customers they worked on, to generate all of those invoices, and then to export all of that in their accounting software. So he was able to reduce that month-end nightmare of 4 days of billing down to 4 hours. That is really the success story with MSP Manager. If we can take all of the areas of your business that are a nightmare today, or you're doing everything manually, and we can automate it or make it so easy that it cuts days down to hours or hours down to minutes, we've done our job. And we really think that MSP Manager brings that to the table, and it's really going to have a dramatic impact on your business. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Drew, and Drew's going to take us through MSP Manager. Drew?
Hi everybody, my name is Drew Bradford. I'm the product manager here for MSP Manager, and I'm excited to show you the product today. They touched on it a little bit earlier, but I want to reinforce that MSP Manager was really built from scratch for the cloud. It was built using all the latest in web and mobile technologies, and what that means for you is that it's fresh, it's fast, it's modern, and it's available anywhere in the world. And we really had user experience in mind when we designed this product. We wanted to deliver only the features that you truly need with a simple, easy to use, easy to understand interface that doesn't require any training for your technicians. So with that, let's just jump into the product here. You'll notice throughout the product we have the dashboards, and you'll see it throughout. This is what's called the My Dashboard, and this is the first screen that you get when you log into the system. And this dashboard is all about you. It's all about what's important to you. So I can see up at the top, I can see some statistics about myself. I can see how many hours I've billed this week or this month or this year, any date range that I choose. And I can identify some trends, and it really motivates me to bill more hours, to reach my goals. And it helps me identify maybe gaps that I've missed, some billable time. Down at the bottom, you'll see these big buttons here, and these are all items that maybe need your immediate attention. So we can see that I have 2 overdue tickets. I have 2 tickets due this week, and I have 6 items that are going to expire soon. So it's really drawing my attention to important things. This is a great way to start off your day, straight from the My Dashboard, to see what needs your immediate attention. Then I can view all of my tickets, and I can view my timesheet. This is a great, easy to use calendar view where I can see all of the time that I've billed and all of the appointments that I have upcoming. This really helps me to identify any gaps in my day. So I can see that this morning I haven't billed anything, so maybe I forgot to put some time in for a customer that I need to input. So My Dashboard is all about you. Now let's go take a look at a customer. You go to the Customers tab and pick Waterloo Title. And again, I'm presented with another dashboard. This is what we call the Customer Dashboard. And the Customer Dashboard is all about a particular customer. I can see all the most important information at a glance. And this is a great jumping off point if, say, a customer gives me a call and needs some support. I might go straight to this screen to just see the most important info about them. So I can see things like how long they've been a customer, which technicians are assigned to their account, some historical statistics about their tickets and hours that they've used. And I can see this nice graph of how many hours they've used per month, so I can identify some trends with this particular customer. Around the outside, we see some important information about the customer, and this is all customizable. I can choose which information shows up on this dashboard. So I might choose their main locations, their primary points of contact that I deal with the most, their big assets like their important servers, networks, so I can quickly identify what IP ranges their networks are on, and the most important passwords that I need access to frequently. And straight from this dashboard, I can just reveal a password and type it into their system and begin supporting them. So the dashboard is a really great way to just see an overview about a particular customer. Now over on the left, we have all these different tabs here to drill down into more detail about the particular customer. You can store all of their contact info, their locations, their contacts within those locations. You can see all of their tickets and projects that you're working on, as well as all the services that you offer them, that they pay you for, and the rates that you charge them. And then down below, you can access all of their knowledge pieces, like their passwords and procedures. One of the great features of MSP Manager is the help desk. So this is where you do all of your ticketing inside of MSP Manager. When we designed the help desk, we really wanted to keep it simple. Ali touched on this earlier, but a big complaint that we've heard about existing PSA solutions is that they're just too cumbersome, takes too long to create a ticket. And what ends up happening is you spend more time creating the ticket than you did working on the ticket. So we really sought to get out of your way and make it easy for you. Let me show you what a new ticket looks like inside of MSP Manager. Just click the new ticket here, and you'll see up here in the top in this box is all the information about this particular ticket. I select a customer, I select which service it's associated with, I can optionally select a project or a location, a contact within their office, an asset that it might be related to, and I can assign it to a technician, assign a due date, things like that. So very few fields that you actually have to input here, and even fewer of them are required. Really all that's required is the customer, the service, and the title to get going. So very fast, very easy to input a ticket. And if that's not fast enough, we've got the quick ticket feature. Now this feature is available anywhere in the app, so you could be on the knowledge screen or on the scheduling screen, and you can access this at any time by clicking this timer button at the top right. And this allows you to quickly and easily create a ticket for a customer in about 10 seconds or less. I simply type the customer's name in, type a title, and hit go. And I can either start a timer or I can save it as a new ticket or a completed ticket. Very quick, very easy. So the knowledge section is where you track all of the information about your customers. As MSPs, you have a bunch of different customers, and you have to track all their information, right? All their passwords, all their procedures. How do you set up a new user for this customer versus customer XYZ? Expiration dates is a big one. You need to track SSL certificates, DNS records, antivirus subscriptions, things like that. We've actually found that MSPs, one of the #1 reasons why customers fire their MSPs is they forget to renew something or they let something expire. So this system is really great. You set it up, it sends you notifications before it expires, and you'll never get in trouble for that. So I want to take a quick look at the password system. So you'll notice here I've got all my passwords for all of my customers, and you'll notice that they're starred out, so I can't see the password. What I can do is I can click Reveal, and if it's not protected by the password secret, I'm able to view that. Now for very sensitive passwords, we might have a password secret over it, and if I try to reveal it, I'm prompted to input the secret. If I don't know that secret, there's no way that I can access it. But if I do, I just type it in and it's visible to me. So very secure password system. Next, I want to show you the scheduling feature. Now, this is a great way to stay organized, schedule appointments for your customers, and keep your entire team in sync. So I go to the scheduling feature, and right now I'm just looking at my scheduled appointments. So if I clear the filter here, I can see the schedules for the entire team. They're nicely color-coded, so I can easily distinguish them visually. I can hover over them to see more information. And of course, it's all drag and drop. Very simple, very easy to use. And the great thing about this is it actually syncs with your personal calendar. So it will send meeting invites, meeting updates, so that your calendar on your phone or in your Outlook is always in sync with this. Next, I want to show you the company dashboard. And this is a great place for a business owner or maybe the operations manager to go and really check on the health of the company. So this portion is the latest user activity. I can see what all of my employees are doing right now. If they have active timers, I can see them running here. I can see the last tickets that they've worked on, etc. It's a great way to keep a pulse on the company. The user stats allows me to look at all of my employees over a specific time range and compare them and see who's working, who's overworked, who's underworked. For example, here you can see that Drew is very overworked. He needs a vacation, and George and CJ need to offload some of that work from him. So a great way to get visibility into your employees. And finally, we have the service utilization. And this is all about your customers and the various services that you offer them. So at a glance, we can look at all of the services we offer for all of our customers. We can see how much remaining they have, how much billable they have remaining that we need to charge them for. We can come and sort by utilization to identify customers who are maybe going over budget on a project or have gone over their monthly retainer. So I can quickly see that this customer here has gone over their retainer. It's in bright red. I can click on this and it expands out, and I can get some more information about that. I can see that they've used 31 out of their 30 hours. So I may want to call up that customer and warn them that they've gone over. Next, I want to show you the billing. So you've spent a lot of time and effort all month inputting your time and your expenses, tracking time, and now you need to turn that into money. So the great thing about MSP Manager is its batch billing system. So what you can actually do is bill multiple customers, multiple service items all at once, or iteratively if you choose to do it over time. Let me just show you a billing batch that I created. This is my billing for August, and you can see that I have multiple customers in here and all of the various services that I offer them, whether it's an hour retainer, flat fee, hourly, project work, etc. And I've wrote that all into a single batch, which I can then turn into invoices and simply export to my accounting package in one click. Really simplifies billing at the end of the month. And the last thing I want to show you is the customer portal. So this is what you can give your customers access to this portal, and they can log in and view all of their tickets, create new tickets, and it just keeps them up to date with the status of everything that you're working on for them. You can see that it's customizable. You can upload your own logo, your own color scheme, and even pick a custom URL. So it's very, very simple, very easy to use. You don't have to train them how to use it. They'll catch on very quickly. So from here, they can see all of their tickets that are open. They can view a ticket, and they can even they can see who's assigned to it. They can see when it was last updated, and they can even communicate with you directly through this ticket by adding a new response. And that will show up in your ticket view in the help desk, and you'll get a notification about that. And of course, they can create a new ticket, and you'll get notified of that as well. So with that, I'll pass it back over to Alex.
Great, thanks very much for that, Drew. Everyone, I hope that you see just how easy it is to set up MSP Manager, to get started with it, to use it. Just an incredibly easy to use platform. So we're really, really excited, and one of the best parts for me about MSP Manager is just how easy it is. So whether it's your first time logging in, signing up is simple. It's your first name, last name, email, company name. I get into the system. I probably want to add a customer or two. I start adding service items. How do I deliver service to those customers? And then I can hit the ground running and just create tickets and support those customers. As far as using the software, we estimate that if I put a new technician in there who had never seen the platform before, he could probably be up and running within an hour, creating tickets, getting access to knowledge. Everything that we've done in the app is just so intuitive, so easy to use. We're really trying to remove the barriers that exist with existing PSA software today. And it's worth repeating that not only is your first time setup easy, ongoing, there's really no maintenance. I mean, the beauty of the cloud and just having your software always run, always available, never having to upgrade it yourself. We do that for you. It's just a great system for you to get started on. If you're interested in MSP Manager, I want to encourage everyone on the webinar today, go to mspmanager.com. We have all the information you could want on MSP Manager there, even pricing if you wanted to learn more about that. We are accepting for the month of September a small batch of managed service providers to preview the product. So we want you to get in there. We want you to have your hands on MSP Manager as soon as possible. So I'd encourage you to go to mspmanager.com, click on that orange preview button, which will take you to this page so you can sign up for the preview. If you're accepted, you should get a notification within 24 to 48 hours, and you'll be in the product right away and ready to hit the ground running. So with that, Drew, we have a number of questions. Okay, so lots of people asking about integrations. Does this integrate with N-Central, which enables remote monitoring and management platform? Today, the three integrations that exist are the ones I showed you, the accounting ones. So QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, and Xero. This is going to be an integration-rich platform. And we had the option of announcing and launching this product later when it was integrated with N-Central, or launching it now so that it could benefit every MSP today so that we could add N-Central integration after. So N-Central integration is definitely our #1 priority. It's coming soon. I can't discuss dates, us being a publicly traded company. But check our blogs at blogs.n-able.com, and you'll see updates there on what we're working on. Drew, when it comes to scheduling, we have someone asking, how does the synchronization work between MSP Manager's calendar and other calendar tools like Outlook or Gmail?
What happens when you schedule an appointment inside of MSP Manager, it automatically sends out what's called an iCal invite to you. An iCal is a calendar standard that's recognized by just about every email client out there. So it'll work with Outlook, Gmail, Apple Mail, just about everything. And what it'll also do, as you adjust or delete appointments from MSP Manager, it will send out updates to your calendar.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I think we've talked internally, and we think that if you can do all your scheduling from MSP Manager, just use all the external calendars as kind of a read-only, and then go back to MSP Manager to update everybody. Next question on billing. So Drew, someone's looking to bill a recurring item like a monthly broadband charge or Office 365. How would that be tracked, and then how would I create invoices for that?
So the majority of our service item types can be set to be recurring, and you can pick any number of recurring intervals: weekly, biweekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So you can easily specify that on a flat fee or a retainer type contract.
Okay, great. When it comes to help desk tickets, Drew, can you receive those via email?
Yes, you can integrate your support or ticket mailbox into MSP Manager, and we will monitor that mailbox. And as emails come in, we will display them in the help desk and send you a notification. So most people use something like support at mymsp.com. And this is all using IMAP technology so that we can integrate with just about any type of email server.
Okay, great. Next question, Drew. Someone's wondering how do tickets show up in that timesheet view? Is there any configuration needed for that? How is that configured?
Yeah, so the timesheet view shows the time entries that you have worked on for a particular ticket. So let's say you put in time for ticket 123 and you worked on it from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's what's going to show up in your calendar view, and that's what you get. That's what you bill your customer for, is those 3 hours there.
Okay, and Drew, when we talked about procedures on the customer dashboard, what sort of procedures would you see someone storing in there?
Typically, you'll want to store any kind of setup procedures. Real common one would be a new user onboarding procedure. Say your customer, whenever your customer has a new hire, there's a typical procedure that you need to follow. Add them into Active Directory, create their mailbox. How do you set up the computer, install all the software that they need, etc. So anything that you want to proceduralize, that you want to share, the real key is sharing it with your team, right? So if you're out sick, somebody else needs to be able to fill in for you. So if you have a good documented procedure system, that should be no problem.
Drew, is there a way to search for help desk tickets under the help desk window that you were demoing earlier?
Yes, there is. There's a little search icon at the top bar there, and you can search by ticket number, description, assigned users, any number of fields. Very quick and easy.
Okay, great. Another couple questions for me. People asking, does MSP Manager replace Help Desk Manager that Enable currently offers? And the answer is no. Help Desk Manager is a great ticketing solution from SolarWinds that we've rebranded. SolarWinds continues to work on this, and SolarWinds is a much larger company than we are. So Help Desk Manager as a ticketing tool will continue to get better. We will keep supporting it. We just felt that MSP Manager solved a lot of the billing and team organization and other features that a lot of MSPs were asking for. A lot of questions about how is this different from other ticketing or other PSA platforms and things like that. And I think at the end of the day it comes down to ease of use and things like the quick ticket, so creating a ticket in 10 seconds or less, like Drew said, rather than taking minutes. So the time it takes you to enter a ticket is going to be directly proportional to how many tickets your technicians will enter. And I think if your technicians are entering 20 tickets a day versus 10 tickets a day, you're going to see a lot of billable hours and revenue go up. And I think customer service is going to get a lot better, a lot less customer complaints when it comes to support. Drew, when it comes to serial number management, can you just expand on that a little bit? What sort of detail are we storing in there?
Yeah, typically serial numbers are great, for software keys, license keys, your Windows 7 license keys, your backup exec, your QuickBooks, things like that. So you could also store asset serial numbers in there if you want, but it's mainly designed for software keys.
Okay, great. Drew, a couple questions about billing. So one person asking, how do they account for different tax rates in different areas that they're in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So MSP Manager has a very simple, simplified tax system built in. The way that you extend that to accommodate more complex scenarios is through the accounting integration. So chances are you already have your QuickBooks or your Xero set up with all of your products and services and all of the appropriate tax rates that go with those products or services. And what we do at MSP Manager is we import those from your accounting package, and then we map them to your customers inside of MSP Manager. So when you have that mapping set up, invoicing becomes a single click. You export it, you go into QuickBooks, and you look at the invoice, and everything is mapped properly with the appropriate tax rates. Everything flows into the appropriate chart of accounts, and you can manage your P&L on the accounting side.
Okay, great. Drew, another billing question is, how would somebody, and this might be similar to that one, how would they handle foreign currencies?
Yeah, so that's, so MSP Manager has, you can switch the currency, but it's a global currency setting for the system. Now, if you have customers if you support customers with multiple different currencies, that's again going to be need to be accommodated with the accounting export. So you'll have all those currencies set up in your accounting system, and we simply map to that, and it wires it all up during the export.
Okay, great. Drew, when it comes to password management, we have a couple MSPs, a couple different questions I saw about password management is, I think people are kind of interpreting it as a HIPAA compliance or a detailed compliance, with user auditing and logging what users do and things like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but our intent for password management is not to be a full-blown password management tool. Our goal is to just make it easier to manage passwords.
You're exactly right. Yeah. The goal is to just be a simple, secure storage system that you can share amongst your team for passwords.
Okay, so Drew, that's it for questions. So everyone, that concludes our webinar. Again, we're just super excited about this. We hope you sign up for the preview and you love the product as much as we do. Thanks, everyone.